Another 5010, Foxtrot, hold short of runway 4 left, remain at frequency.
Foxtrot, short of 4 left, both units at Emirates 5010.
Emirates 76 Foxtrot Super, when able, you can start the right-hand turn heading 100.
Able now, turning right, 100, Emirates 76 Foxtrot.
Yes, sir, be at 500 heavy, Foxtrot, crossway 4 left, taxi left Alpha, and then monitor ground 121.9er.
Cross 04 left on Foxtrot, then left on Alpha, monitor 121.9, that is, 500 heavy, thank you.
Emirates 76 Foxtrot Super, contact New York departure, good day.
Contact New York departure, Emirates 76 Foxtrot, good day. JetBlue 1594, 4 left.
JetBlue 1594, Kennedy Tower, wind 34013, gust 18, runway 4 left, clear to land.
Clear to land, 4 left, JetBlue 1584.
Thank you for everybody for being here today. Today is April 4th, 2022.
273 heavy, turn left Echo, left Yankee, and remain this frequency.
Echo Yankee with you, Delta 273 heavy.
Another 5010 at Foxtrot, crossway 4 left, taxi left Alpha to the ramp, and monitor ground 121.9.
Heavy clear to cross 4 left, Foxtrot, left Alpha, monitor ground 5010.
Yes, sir, be a 500 heavy, hold short of Gulf, contact ground 121.9.
Tower, Delta 107 heavy, 12 miles out, ILS.
107 heavy, Kennedy Tower, following heavy A330 traffic, 5.5 miles ahead, caution, wait, chemical, wind 34014,
Whiskey Films, glad to be here. Welcome to the chat.
We'll go 273 heavy, crossway,
That would be American Airlines Flight 621, arriving from Miami.
Cross 380 Yankee Hotel, short 4 left, 273.
That's a Boeing 737 airplane type that passengers are on. That is 10 years of age. The flight was over 1,089 miles. It took 2 hours and 26 minutes to arrive at JFK.
ILS, 4 left.
Level 320 Kennedy Tower, following company, short final, one Airbus will depart between you and the traffic ahead, wind 34013, gust 20, runway 4 left, clear to land.
Runway 4 left, clear to land, JetBlue 320.
And 621, Foxtrot Alpha to Foxtrot, hold short of runway 4 left, remain at frequency.
Foxtrot Alpha, Foxtrot, hold short 4 left, and stay with you, bye.
JetBlue 523, Kennedy Tower, company traffic, 7 mile final, runway 4 left, line of way.
4 left, line of 57. Kennedy Tower, JetBlue line 54, LS, 4 right, that's Mosquito.
JetBlue 1154, Kennedy Tower, 6.5 miles from trail, heavy A330, caution, wake 7, wind 34011, gust 20, runway 4 right, clear to land.
Runway 4 right, clear to land, JetBlue 1164.
JetBlue 1584, turn left at Gulf.
And approaching and arriving at JFK, that would be Delta Airlines Flight 49.
Bravo and monitor
arriving from Amsterdam.
Thanks, JetBlue 523, wind 33010, gust 20, runway 4 left, clear takeoff.
330-941, 2 years of age at this passenger on.
2776,
And that was a 3,643 mile trip for those passengers. Welcome to JFK, New York City.
40, leaving my area, radar service, turning scope 1200, frequency change approved.
Tower, road 40 with request. Tower, road 40 with request.
Road 40, go ahead.
Roger, we're doing some navigation training. We're looking to turn northbound on the Meadowbrook to on the alley route.
Delta 49, heavy, connecting Foxtrot Alpha, Foxtrot, hold short of runway 4 left, then remain
En
on
route
this
to
frequency.
LAX, Los Angeles. This aircraft is a Airbus A321-231, 4 years of age.
And
that would be Jamaica Bay, south of JFK.
Delta 2776, wind 31011, gust 20, runway 4 left, let's take off.
Let's take off 4 left, Delta 2777.
Road 40, squawk 1200, and contact vehicle approach on frequency 125.7, they might be able to help you.
arriving from Frankfurt, Germany is Delta Airlines Flight 107. This flight was 3,857 miles, 7 hours, 55 minutes to arrive to JFK from Frankfurt, Germany. This is the Airbus A330-223 that these passengers are aboard. And this aircraft is 17 years of age.
Denver 4644 is with you on 9, that's 4 right.
4644, Kennedy, California, Airbus 320 traffic, 5 miles ahead, wind 32011, gust 20, runway 4 right, little left.
So land 4 right, Denver 4644.
Approaching for arrival is JetBlue Airways
Departure, good day, Delta
320 from Detroit, Michigan. This aircraft type is and that would be Jamaica Bay that you are looking at with the approaching, arriving flights on runway 04 right. Departing flights are on 04 left. And arriving from Mexico City to JFK is flight Viva Aerobus flight 100. And this is an Airbus A320-232. And this aircraft that these passengers are currently on is 6 years old. Welcome to New York. And that's a beautiful underbelly of that aircraft. And on the tarmac, approaching takeoff on runway 04 left, this would be JetBlue Airways flight 973 from New York with no known destination. This is an aircraft type Airbus A321-231, and this aircraft is also 6 years old. Arriving over Jamaica Bay, approaching runway 04 right, this would be American Airlines flight 199 from Milan. This flight was 3,996 miles to JFK from Milan. This flight took over 8 hours and 2 minutes to arrive to JFK from Milan. And this aircraft type is a Boeing 777-223. And this aircraft is 20 years of age. Richard Spreckley, thank you for the super chat. We really appreciate all the, anything that helps our channel out. And as we're speaking, this is Delta Connections flight 5754 arriving from Jacksonville, Florida to JFK. This is an 827-mile trip for these passengers, which took under 2 hours, at an hour and 50 minutes to arrive to JFK. This is an Emperor E-175LR at 14 years of age. Again, Richard Spreckley, thank you for the support, and it helps the channel out. And anybody that wants to support the channel, just hit that little icon in your chat box with the $sign around it and send a super sticker or super chat, and we will gladly read it live on the air. And approaching runway 04 right, this would be Delta Airlines flight 2 from London to New York This flight was over 3,453 miles for these passengers, which took over 7 hours and 5 minutes to arrive to JFK. This is a Boeing 67 aircraft, Dash 432, and this is 21 years of age, this aircraft. Welcome to JFK. Thank you, Christopher Wood.
Air 589, wind 330 at 11, gust 17, runway 4 left, clear takeoff.
That would be a Cessna 402C. 37 years old this aircraft is. Departing New York to Tarmac Lake, which is a 260-mile trip.
Short of the left, and we'll keep it up. 199 heading across Naples, then Foxtrot Bravo, then taxi Delta Bravo and Charlotte.
Right, Gregory Bloom. And arriving on runway 04 right, this would be Amica, a Colombian soccer team. So this is the Columbia soccer team's plane from Colombia. This is a flight 210 from Bogota, Colombia to JFK, which was a 2,472-mile trip, which took these soccer players 5 hours and 14 minutes to arrive to JFK. The Airbus A319-115, and this aircraft is 7 years old. I guess they are here in New York to play a little soccer. Now on the tarmac, approaching the runway for departure. This would be Japanese Airlines flight number 5, departing on runway 04 left. This is an aircraft, Boeing 777-346, and these passengers are currently aboard a 13-year-old aircraft. This trip for these passengers aboard this aircraft is 6,773 miles to Tokyo, Japan. And arriving from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, on runway 04 right, This would be American Airlines Flight 1697. That's the flight number, not the year you were born. And this flight was over 1,000 miles. It took 2 hours and 17 minutes to arrive to JFK aboard a Boeing 737-823, 5 years of age. And like Patrick Lott had mentioned, this is an Airbus flight A330-202, 11 years old in age. This is ITA Airways Flight 608, arriving from Rome, Italy to JFK. This flight was 4,279 miles. That took 8 hours and 46 minutes to arrive to JFK. And that is its new color scheme that this aircraft is displaying. This would be Delta Airlines Flight 1095, arriving from Los Angeles LAX to JFK, and these passengers are aboard a 767-432. This aircraft is 20 years old in age, and this trip was 2,475 miles, which took 4 hours and 26 minutes to arrive to JFK from Los Angeles. And as we're looking across at Jamaica Bay, as you can see, that water is not that choppy, but the winds currently today are between 10 to 20 miles per hour. It is currently 52 degrees outside. New York weather, baby. And as everybody knows, if you were watching USA Today news or airline news, that, you know, Southwest Airlines had technical difficulties with computer glitches on their aircraft, which grounded counts of 200 flights, 400 delayed, and then the air traffic was so congested that because of spring break in Florida and the weather, that there was over 12,000 flights that were either canceled or delayed over the weekend, this weekend. And like Alaska Airlines, they're kind of short pilots right now because of their standing issues with being unionized contract, and they are currently on strike. And arriving to JFK from Frankfurt, Germany is Lufthansa flight 400. And this flight was 3,807 miles, 7 hours and 32 minutes to arrive to JFK. This is a Boeing 747-830 aircraft these passengers are aboard. And this aircraft is 9 years old. Welcome to New York. Departing JFK to Fort Lauderdale, Florida for spring break is JetBlue Airways 1601, the flight. And it's an Airbus A320-232. And this aircraft that these passengers are currently aboard is 21 years old. Safe landings in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Spring break travel is here, people. And that would be Uber Eats in the boat to bring food to my cameraman. Yeah, Uber Eats does deliver by boat. You know, my cameraman out there is kind of cold, needs a hot cup of Java and some food, and that it would be Uber Eats. And arriving on runway 04 right at JFK from Montego Bay, is Jet Airways flight 780. This is an Airbus A320-271, 2 years of age that these passengers are arriving in to New York. And arriving from Portland, Oregon, is Delta Airlines flight 396 to New York. This trip for these passengers is 2,455 miles, which took 4 hours and 21 minutes to arrive to JFK. And this is a Boeing 737 type aircraft, 932, and it's an 8 years old aircraft for these passengers aboard. I looked at it underbelly. Beautiful landing. Beautiful landing. And that would be Delta Connection Flight 5277 departing on runway 04 left at JFK. Headed to Burlington. No, not the Coke Factory. You know, this is a Mitsubishi CJ 900, 13 years of age. Burlington is its destination. And I know what you guys are thinking of the Coke place. And arriving to JFK from Madrid. Oh man, Madrid. You know, on runway 04 right, this would be American Airlines Flight 95. This is a Boeing 777-233 aircraft type, 21 years of age that these passengers are on. And this trip for these passengers were 3,588 miles, which took a little bit under 7 hours to arrive to JFK. Welcome to New York City.
Heavy Fox stop, hold short of 4 left.
And I am Community Watchdog Reviews, where I do product reviews for survival, camping, and prepping on my channel. I am your commentator, and Jenny Moore is my co-pilot commentator. She is here also.
What's your gate number? Not something. JetBlue 780, what's your gate number? JetBlue 780, we're going to gate 20. Sir, thank you, taxi right, Bravo, monitor ground. Right, Bravo, monitor ground, JetBlue 780. And don't forget to thank you on Alpha, monitor ground.
Hi, everybody. It's me.
Yard 21022, thanks, over to contact 10 miles southwest at 200, and you're going to be a shoreline counter at low 500. 21022, Roger, started to cross the westbound, shoreline,
Arriving, we have JetBlue Airways Flight 6906. It came from Chicago. This flight was 740 miles and took about an hour and 34 minutes. This aircraft is an Embraer E190AR and is 15 years old.
IC 5322, heavy tank, Airbus 323.5 miles, head on 84 right, clear to land.
Hi, Patrick.
Approach 21022, cross right turn, good, heavy Boeing 7477, off your 2-3 o'clock now, 3 miles, 2,000 feet, descending, landing 4 right. Exit Foxtrot, hold short of running 4 left. Hold short of 4 left, just with 9-0. And Dynasty 5322, heavy, there's a helicopter, 109 the clock, and 2 miles eastbound, low level, 200 feet, no practice.
Arriving, we've got Delta Airlines Flight 1576 coming in from Tampa. Welcome to New York. This flight was 1,003 miles and took 2 hours and 10 minutes to arrive. This aircraft is an Airbus A320 and is 23 years old. Thank you, State. I mean, I like to think I'm the better part of the team, but that's just my opinion. Coming in from Anchorage, Alaska, we have China Airlines cargo flight 15322. This is a Boeing 747. This took a 3,387 mile trip that took 6 hours and 16 minutes. So, all those things you ordered from Amazon that took a while from China, here it comes. It's heading into New York. It'll come to your doorstep in about 3 to 5 days.
Oh, I see you got jokes, Patrick.
See, Patrick understands.
Join Alpha and stay with you till guys, so that 16, turning 5, heading Airbus 320, 4 miles, 784 right for the land. 4 right, heading 587. Delta 1576 on Alpha, monitor ground today. On Alpha, monitor down, Delta 1576 today. Dynasty 5322 heavy, turn left, echo. And you clock up Charlie 6. FBA, Dynasty, Carter, yes, sir, you called me at Charlie 6 today? Oh, Roger, Charlie 6. That's April. Dynasty 532 heavy, thank you. Echo, cross runway 4 left, then taxi via Charlie. Okay, taxi Echo, and cross runway 4 left, taxi Charlie, then taxi.
I do believe that is correct, Christopher. For now, the one and only. Arriving, we have JetBlue Retro Livery Flight 61360 coming in from Kingston. This flight was 1,572 miles and took 3 hours and 15 minutes. This aircraft is an Airbus A320 and is 13 years old. Yeah.
Heavy Boeing 777, 6.5 miles, edge, 437, place 4 right, clear to land. 4 right, clear to land.
Thank you, Daniel. I'm so glad I can help you on your commute. Alright, just arriving from Shanghai, China Eastern Airlines Flight U587. This flight was very, very long. It took a long, long time. 7,394 miles. It took 14 hours and 20 minutes. This aircraft is a Boeing 777 and is 7 years old. they don't.
Guard 21022, further tank car stops to the southeast, right up there, third, go up VFR, big change through, today.
Departing from JFK, we have American Airlines flight A311 headed to Charlotte. This is going to be a 542-mile trip, short and sweet. This aircraft is an Airbus A319 and is 12 years old. No, they don't. In and out real quick, DJ.
Shannon 58, going to be crossing 31 right on Yankee. Hold short of running 4 left on Golf.
Cross runway 31 right on Yankee, hold short runway 4 left on.
Arriving, we have American Airlines Flight 4. Interesting. Coming in from Los Angeles to New York, cross-country journey they went. 2,474 miles and took 4 hours and 38 minutes. This aircraft is an Airbus A321-231 and is 8 years old. You know, if they're not from New York, like, they're in for a little bit of a shock because I'm much warmer in LA than it is in New York right now. Arriving, we have Delta Airlines Flight 1. My bad, just kidding. Departing, we have American Airlines Flight 1479. We are going to Miami. Some spring break, enjoy some fun and some sun. This aircraft is a Boeing 737-823 and is 10 years old. Arriving, we have Delta Airlines Flight 1272 coming in from Fort Lauderdale. Someone's spring break just ended. Welcome to New York City. This flight was 1,667 miles and took 2 hours and 17 minutes. This is the Airbus A321-211, and this plane is brand spanking new. That does, DJ. Fun and sun. Come on, guys. Let's all go to Miami for spring break. Let's have some margaritas and tequila on the beach. Forget our troubles. See what kind of trouble we can get into. The mayor has lifted the curfew, so, you know me, I can party till 9:30 p.m. Arriving is JetBlue Airways Flight 6233, coming back from Burlington Coal Factory. Is an Embraer E19AR. This flight was 268 miles and took an hour. Short and sweet. This aircraft is 14 years old. Thank you, Sank, for the $5 super chat. Appreciate it so much.
Forward to contact, 10 miles northwest, out 1511, speed measurement 2997. You could have seen a pending crash bottle or airspace via the Boston Cockpit. And landing at the GAC this number is not the with that. Call you sure we'll set this for landing to 2907 on Chicago this morning.
Departing, we have Delta Airlines Flight 253 headed to Bogota. Bogota get there in a few hours. It's 2,473 miles. This aircraft is a Boeing 757-232, and it's 22 years old. Arriving from Genevieve, we have Swiss LX22. Welcome to JFK. This flight was 3,884 miles and took 8 hours and 5 minutes. This aircraft is an Airbus A330-343 and is 9 years old. It's a Swiss aircraft, not a Swiss Army knife, although I'm not sure for myself. It could fold open and open cans as well. I don't know. That would be a neat party trick.
Arriving from West Palm Beach is Delta Airlines Flight 791, and these passengers are aboard an Airbus A321-211. This aircraft is 1 year old in age, and this was a 1,027-mile trip that took a little under 2 hours and 11 minutes to arrive to JFK. I know, my voice has changed. And getting to St. Chris, under the First Amendment of freedom of the press and everything like that, this is public. So he's not on airport property, so he doesn't need nobody's permission. Anything you can see out in public with your eyes, you can videotape legally, as long as you're not creeping and staring in people's windows. So he is on public lands doing, filming in the public. And what your eyes can see and the camera can see is totally legal.
134011, gust 17, runway 4 left, set takeoff.
Yeah, Mark Johnstone. Yeah, you know, departures are lined up. I mean, it's crazy. Looking at the tarmac right now on the map, you know, departures are stacked up, stacked back. So there's going to be a lot of departures, you know, versus arrivals at JFK. This would be Saudi Airlines Flight 616, operated by AIRLINE, and arriving from Maastricht. Its flight number 616. This is a Boeing 747-428, and this aircraft is 19 years of age. This trip was 3,720 miles for these passengers, which took under 7 hours and 26 minutes to arrive from Maastricht to JFK. Look at that underbelly of that aircraft. That is a beautiful sight to see when they put those flaps down to arrive. It's a beautiful landing there.
On the tarmac, preparing for takeoff. It's going to be JetBlue Airways Flight 6463 headed to Sarasota. This is going to be a 1,040-mile trip on an Airbus A320-232. And this aircraft is 19 years old.
Yeah, Christopher Wood. Yes, I would agree with you. We have discussed that. He does have the Amazon link to that pop-up shelter, but decides what he wants to do because he's the boss man. You know, USA live stream TV.
Contacting the Boxville dealer. Tower effective to 466.
Arriving, we have British Airways Flight 8173 all the way from London. Sorry, I know that was terrible. This flight was 3,452 miles and took 6 hours and 57 minutes. This aircraft is a Boeing 777 and it's brand spanking new at 1 year old. That's a big plane.
Alpha, head roll to Yankee Alpha.
Aim to please, JCB.
Yeah, 763 Eagle. The only names I could come up with is Mo, Larry, and Curly. For those buildings. I have no idea what those buildings are called, you know.
Arriving, we have Delta Airlines Flight 169 coming from Barcelona, Spain. I wish my Spanish was amazing, but it's not. This flight was 3,831 miles and took 7 hours and 55 minutes. This is the Airbus A330-323 and is 18 years old. Well, 763, they're called buildings. And that's just what they are. Departing from JFK, we have Delta Connections Flight 4997 headed to Cleveland. Operated by Endeavor Air. This is going to be a 425-mile trip on a Mitsubishi CRJ 900LR, and this plane is 14 years old.
Clear to land, JetBlue.
Arriving, we have Thin Air, One World Livery, Flight AY5, coming in from Helsinki. This flight was 4,118 miles and took 7 hours and 58 minutes. This aircraft is an Airbus A350-941 and is 6 years old. Departing, we have Delta Airlines Flight 1066, leaving New York, headed to Austin, Texas. This is going to be a 1,522-mile trip, and it's going to take about 3 hours. This is an Airbus A320-212, and is 23 years old.
Flight turn 100, Delta 1066. Also, equal, also 4 left, and minus. Turkey Officer 595 and 300,
Departing, we have Delta Connections Flight 5595, headed to Raleigh. This flight is going to be 426 miles, and this aircraft is an Embraer E175LR and is 13 years old. Arriving, we have JetBlue Airways Flight 61402, coming back from Sun and Fun in Fort Lauderdale. This flight was 1,068 miles and took 2 hours and 17 minutes. This aircraft is an Airbus A321-271NX and is 2 years old.
Yeah, Christopher Wood. I had the runway. She's in the learning phases of this, so be patient.
Guess I do what I do, and I'm learning. I just like seeing the airplanes. Arriving on runway 04 right, we have Iberia Flight 6251 coming in from Madrid. This flight was 3,589 miles and took 7 hours and 27 minutes. This aircraft is an Airbus A330-302 and is 8 years old. departing on runway 04 left, we have JetBlue Airways flight 6871, leaving JFK and landing in Salt Lake City. Going to BSU, maybe. This flight is going to be 1,990 miles. And this airplane is an Airbus A320-232, and it's 18 years old. Yep, Patrick, that is correct.
Down to 4673, Kenny Tower, running 4 right to the line. 644, you want to hand off the tango when you get out there? Oh, no, hand off. Thank you, 644.
That's no problem, Christopher. I get it. Greetings, Mark. Arriving on runway 04, right? We have, I can't pronounce it, AIRLINE. That sounds terrible. It's the EIN 11H coming from Shannon. Welcome to JFK from 3,082 miles away. This flight was 6 hours and 33 minutes. This
Airbus is 2 years old, and if you have AIRLINE, please go see a doctor. And there is Uber Eats boat that just delivered food and a hot beverage to our cameraman on the ground. You know, who says Uber Eats doesn't deliver in a boat?
Wave to the boat.
Mark 11 Hotel, Tarmac, Foxtrot, cross only 4 left. Foxtrot, cross 4 left, Tarmac, 1. Let me know what your gate number is when you get there. Let me know what your gate is, what your gate number is when you
Arriving, we have Delta Airlines flight 2273 coming back from Orlando. We have a flight that took 2 hours and 5 minutes at 943 miles. This aircraft is an Airbus A321-211 and is 4 years old. I see that Craig has his flight radar queued up and ready to go. Thank you for the assist.
Number 1, wind 290 out 12, number 4 left, clear to land. 4 left, clear to land.
Arriving on runway 04 right, we have Delta Connections flight 5651 coming in from Boston to New York. This was a 188-mile trip that took 50 minutes. Hop, skip, and a jump on an Embraer E175LR. That's 13 years old. I got it first this time, Craig. Aha.
not yet.
For ILS, stop 4 left.
1604, Kennedy, number 2, traffic ahead to your right, having jet lines parallel, force away turbulence, wind 270 on 13, runway 4 left, clear to land.
Left, 04.
Go 105 Heavy, Kenny Tower on a small right center line, crossway service, calling Heavy 767, wind 270 13.
Back from the sun and the fun with their fresh new tan lines is Delta Airlines Flight 1242 coming in on runway 04 right. We have flight that took 1,088 miles and was 2 hours and 22 minutes long on an Airbus A321-211. It's 3 years old.
To the 1633, Kennedy Tower, number 3, traffic ahead to your right, going to parallel approach, heavy Boeing 7, caution with turbulence. Wind 270 on 12, runway 4 left, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 4 left, for JetBlue 1636.
No, Christopher, you're talking about the tail numbers. Like the registration on these have tail numbers, like N367D, in which but as far as the flights, numbers, that's a different from the registration of the aircraft. And this would be American Eagle Flight 4536 departing JFK to Richmond.
Turn left back stop. Can you make that exit?
And arriving from my hometown of Las Vegas, Nevada, is Delta Airlines Flight 462 on runway 04 right. And this trip was 249 miles for these passengers aboard a Boeing 767-332. 24 years of age this aircraft is. And Miranding out there in Jamaica Bay is flight JetBlue's Airways Flight 1604 arriving to JFK from San Juan. And this flight was 1,596 miles for these passengers aboard this aircraft Airbus A320-232. And this aircraft is 18 years of age. This flight took over 3 hours and 30 minutes to arrive to JFK from San Juan. currently flying over Jamaica Bay, arriving on runway 04 right. This would be American Airlines flight 105. Arriving from London, this was a 3,452 mile trip that took 6 hours and 50 minutes to arrive to JFK. This aircraft, these passengers are aboard, is the Boeing 777-323, and this aircraft is 6 years old. And just look at that beautiful landing as he puts his flaps down. And his vertical speed was minus 98. Ground speed 148 miles an hour. And again, arriving over Jamaica Bay to JFK from Burlington, not the Coke store. Arriving on runway 04 right, this would be JetBlue Airways flight 1633, and this is the Emperor E190 AR, and this aircraft is 9 years old. I'd like to give a good shout out to our mods. We have some of the best mods in the business. You know, all we ask for is you be respectful with your comments in chat. That's it, and you're good to go. Give a big thumbs up to Arizona Snowman and DJ Ford for being here today. Like before, this is USA Livestream TV, and if you haven't subscribed, hit that notification button, and to help our channel out, you can either hit that thumbs up button, and in your chat box is the super chat. Just send a highlighted message that we will read on air. And departing, that would be American Eagle to Raleigh, Durham, flight 4503, from one runway 31 left. So we now currently have flights arriving on 31 right and departing on 31 left.
2964, contact you tomorrow today.
American 118, 31 right.
American 118, Kenny Tower, on the 31 right, center line.
Meadowland 31 right, American 118.
Wind 280 out 12, runway 31 left, flip and take off.
31 left, clear to take off, just through 21, 23.
And arriving to JFK on runway 31 right, that would be JetBlue Airways flight 380 from Providence Scales. And this flight was 1,302 miles for these passengers that took 3 hours to arrive to JFK aboard an Airbus A321-271. And this aircraft is 1 year old in age.
At JetBlue 44, stop 2 outside of Bali. 13 left, or 31 left, going JetBlue
2123, contact you tomorrow today. 574, carry tower, and showing right for the land.
31 right, clear to land, American 5. They're pulling behind you, and we'll get you out of the way on the other side. Zulu short, 31 left. Okay, Zulu short, 31 left, step to 2020.
And arriving to JFK from London is JetBlue's Airways Flight 44. This trip was 346 miles for these passengers aboard a Airbus A321-721. And this aircraft is brand new as we watch it land on runway 31R.
So 118, 150 whiskey, right Bravo, minus to go. Whiskey, turn left Alpha, minus to go.
So like I said before, this is USA Livestream TV. We appreciate all of our viewers and subscribers. This is something that we have started brand new, plane spotting, with the tons of mail that we got, emails that we got from our loyal subscribers who are viewers that want us to do plane spotting, and that's what we are doing for our survivors, for our subscribers. And like all other channels that work, here's how the chat rules work. No threats, no doxing, be respectful, no racism. We like to joke around in here and respect what our mods ask you. No caps, there's no reason to have caps. And we like to be respectful for other plane spotting streams. We don't want to be that channel that is known to talk about other plane spotting streams in our channel. So please refrain from mentioning other plane spotting channels in our chat. That's out of respect for the other channels. We're not going to tolerate, people who are going to come in here and talk about other plane spotting channels, because we're not going to be that channel known for allowing those comments to exist in our chat. So please refrain from doing that. Thank you. And arriving at runway 31 right, this would be American Airlines flight 524 from Miami like my wife said, Jenny Moore, fun in the sun with tan lines, returning to JFK. This was a 1,090-mile trip. It took 2 hours and 25 minutes to arrive to JFK. A Boeing 737 aircraft, these passengers aboard. And this aircraft is 11 years old. Tristan Fuentes, I don't know who Kevin is, so you know, we just don't want we're involved in the plane spotting community, and we're not going to tolerate people coming into our chat talking bad or whatever criticism they have about other plane spotting channels. That it's not going to be tolerated in this chat whatsoever. Zero tolerance for that kind of chatter that goes on in our chat. We want to be respectful for other people that are doing the same thing that we are, and we're not going to tolerate people that are going to talk about other channels in our channel out of respect for those channels. And arriving on runway 31 right, this would be Emirates Flight 16 from Dubai. And this trip for these passengers was 648 miles. It took 13 hours and 45 minutes to arrive to JFK. This is an Airbus A380-842, 1 year old in age. This is Laura Coyle's favorite aircraft, is an Airbus A380.
318, clear the line, prepare for 730.
And we appreciate that, Christopher Wood. Now, I'm just giving people the heads up, Tristan Fuentes, that you know that we will not tolerate that kind of chat in our chat. You know, we're all in this airplane spotting community together. We support one another channels, and we're not going to have people come in to our chat and talk about. I'm just putting it out there. Talk about other channels. You know, so that is not going to be tolerated here at all. Because what we don't want going on is people running to those channels saying we're allowing people to chat bad about them in our chat, and people screenshotting and sending them the screenshots of people saying bad things about their channel and our channel. To avoid all that, if people come in here and mention other plane spotting channels, you know, that is not going to be tolerated. We have zero tolerance for that kind of chat in our chat.
Go 310 heavy coming east, downward departing traffic heavy Boeing 777, caution like a turbulence, but this is traffic off to your right, running parallel. Wind 280 at 11, runway 31 left, clear to land. Command 31 left, Delta, 310. Tower, JetBlue 902, ILS 31 right.
902, any carrier, 31 right, clear to land.
To land 31 right, JetBlue 902.
And departing on 31 left, runway 31 left, this would be Turkish Cargo Flight 6363 from New York, destined to Toronto, Canada, which is a 367-mile trip for this Turkish Cargo flight. And its aircraft is a Boeing 777-FF2, and this aircraft is 3 years of age. And Tristan Fuentes, yeah, we appreciate, you know, subscribers and the viewers, but I'm just, you know, letting people know the chat rules and what we tolerate and what we don't tolerate. And, you know, and we don't like, you know, putting people in a corner or banning people in our chat. So, you know, as long as people are respectful and do as our mods ask, you don't have no problems, you know. But it's just like any other channel that's in this community, you know, out of rectal respect, I'm pretty sure they ain't gonna allow people to talk about our channel in their chat, you know, and we're going to do the same thing, you know. You know, regardless if anybody's done it, but that'd be enough on that issue.
9, previous departure, heavy Boeing 777, caution wind turbulence, have 4 miles final, runway 31 left, line wait. 9.31 left, JetBlue 269. Go 310 heavy, one more departure, and A320. 310. And I'll handle for you shortly to the other Kennedy controller, and then we'll work on a handle for you, go license. Admiral 500, then caution the wake and then to the right, no factor. Wind 290 at 12, runway 31 left, close to takeoff. Let's pick up 31 left, JetBlue 1069.
Target 8 up to 348, 7 on the visual, 31 left.
So 348 Kennedy, following heavy Boeing 767, short final, caution wind turbulence, wind 290 at 12, runway 31 left, clear to land.
31 left, clear to land, Delta 348.
JetBlue 769, contact you, depart, we'll see you later. Got a park, JetBlue 1069. Tower, JetBlue 1436, ILS, 31 right. Oh yeah, 31 right, JetBlue 1436. November 43287 Kennedy, traffic at about 12 o'clock and within a mile, type unknown, it appears to be eastbound indicating 400.
287 individual.
Star 310, heavy turn right, when able, taxi Papa, join Bravo to your ramp and monitor ground on 4 down, I'll see you later. November, Roger, service terminated, ticket approved.
Left turn whiskey, left turn Alpha 1, 1902, have a good day, sir.
We want to thank St. Chris for the super chat. We appreciate any monetary donations to help the channel out, and you can do that by either going to the About page or in the chat. And yes, there is a restroom out there, Christopher Wood.
So 224, can you turn the 3 on right, center line?
Center line 3 1 right, JetBlue 224. Yes, Tower, JetBlue 1701, we are ready to go 3 1 left.
Roger.
Delta 348, right at Mike Bravo, another right on Bravo.
Right on Mike Bravo.
Got 348, Bravo to the red, monitor ground point negative.
This would be Delta Airlines Flight 265 arriving on runway 31 left. Flight 265 from Paris, France. This was a 3,630 mile trip for these passengers that took 7 hours and 20 minutes to arrive to JFK. And these passengers were aboard an aircraft type Airbus A330-323. And this aircraft is 18 years old in age.
1501, Kennedy Star, That's 1701, JetBlue 31 left.
And thank you, Chris Saint, for the super chat again and the comments. Thank you. And approaching runway 31 right, arriving at JFK from Los Angeles, California. This would be JetBlue's Airways Flight 224, an Airbus A321-231 that these passengers are aboard that is currently 7 years old. And thank you, Christopher Wood, for that super chat. Christopher Wood said, "Welcome to the crazy world of YouTube plane spot. Wishing you the best of luck at JFK." And we appreciate that, Chris Wood. Thank you.
Take off. 4961 Kennedy Tower, runway 2 left, launch point. 3 miles line of point, number 4961. Good departure, good day. 19 November 0325. 19 November, ready to contact. 7 speed, altimeter is 29.
And that would be Delta Connections Flight 5504, depart JFK to Baltimore, Maryland. This is a Mitsubishi CRJ 900 aircraft these passengers aboard. And this aircraft is 8 years old in age. And again, departing runway 31 left, this would be Delta Connections Flight 4661 to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for JFK. That's a Mitsubishi CRJ-900, 13 years of age. And departing from runway 31 left, this would be LA ELO 14 flight departing JFK to Tel Aviv. And this is a big aircraft. This is a Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner these passengers aboard for a 5,678-mile trip to Tel Aviv. And this aircraft is 2 years old. Look at that beautiful liftoff.
Heavy winds at 310 runway 2 left. Runway 1 left, 000.
Khalad, Lala, how often do you go live? He asked. Well, that just depends on the weather. We had several delays this week because of the weather. This would be Saudi Flight 20, that is departing JFK to Jeddah. This is a Boeing 777-638, and this is a 6-year-old aircraft that these passengers are aboard to Jeddah.
For 9-2 November, you claim they space to northwest, right at terminus 12 feet, fall frequency exchange, proof unit.
And arriving on runway 31 right, this would be Lufthansa Flight 410 from Munich, and this is Airbus A350 dash 941, 3 years old in age.
Clear to land 31 right, LL 07.
W501 Heavy, Kennedy Tower, turn left line, boys.
Line of wind, that's W501.
Delta 401 Heavy, correction 410 Heavy. Turn left clear, taxi right, Bravo, monitor ground to park.
Approaching the tarmac for departure is Air Serbia Nikola Tesla livery, flight 501, departing JFK to Belgrade. And these passengers are aboard an Airbus A330-243. This aircraft, these passengers aboard are 13 years old. And this flight to Belgrade is 4,512 miles. That is a long flight.
Africa 4863 on 31 right. 4863 Kennedy Tower, 1320.
Yes, Christopher Wood, this is a Nikola Tesla livery, I believe, sponsors this aircraft.
We're looking 4863. W501 Heavy, contact me open port.
Maybe back to the base, yeah, 501 Heavy.
This would be a Delta Connections flight number 5746 departing JFK to Charlotte. These passengers aboard an Emperor E-175. This aircraft these passengers are on is 14 years old. And this trip is 540 miles for these passengers as they depart off of runway 31 left. Arriving on runway 31 right at JFK is Ely Flight 007 from Tel Aviv to New York. This trip was 5,677 miles. Took 11 hours and 20 minutes to ride to JFK. That was a Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner, 4 years old in age. And that would be Viva Aerobus on the tarmac. And that is an Airbus A320-232. And we are going to be departing and hopefully see everybody here tomorrow on USA Livestream TV. So we want to say thanks to all of our viewers and all the people that super chatted. And we will see everybody again tomorrow. We are cutting this short today. So please hit that thumbs up button on your way out. And thank you for everybody for being here. We really appreciate our viewers and our subscribers.